and still being built, actually. Fitch Training Facility. It hasn't been named yet. We're going to name it 17 times tonight, so just hang on there. Always goes to the highest bidder. So just be ready to have your donations out for Austintown Fitch High School. It is the Zone Coverage presented by Youngstown Clothing Company, DJ Yoakley, Sam Torres, Greg McAfee, and we are joined right off the top of the show by the head honcho of the Austintown Fitch Falcons. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for our dear friend, Mr. TJ Parker. Teej, what's up, dude?
Not much, same old.
Another year at the helm and another year of success so far. We are in week 6, right? 6?
It is 6.
Yeah, it's hard to believe.
Going by quick.
Tough. I mean, it's a bye week now for you guys. Some things that happen outside of your control. Talk to me about your expectations coming into the season, how you guys have executed through 5 weeks.
Yeah, I think expectations coming into the season were high. This senior class has done a lot throughout their time, at Austintown Fitch, and they've always been a tight-knit group that I think their bond together is what really has driven them, and you can see that in the offseason. So coming in, there were high expectations, but we knew opening up with a tough opponent at Hudson that we had to be prepared, and unfortunately, we didn't play our best game down there. Things didn't go our way. We thought we left a lot on the table. We put up over 400 yards and really didn't finish, and our defense gave up some big plays. Couldn't get off the field on third down. So we dropped that one. And I think the main thing with this year as the season progresses is we returned a lot of guys, a lot of starters. And I think these guys just assumed we would be the same team doing the same thing as we did last year. And you really find out that every team's identity is different.
Yeah.
And, we got better on the outside with our receivers, and our quarterback got better. So we have more of an advantage to spit the ball out when numbers allow us to, and finding that rhythm, finding what we're good at, finding what, the newcomers, how they fit in our systems, and what we can do to play the advantage to our players. And obviously, teams that we play have a year of film on us, and hey, they did this last year with these guys. We assume they're going to do this again. There's a lot of those things that we were figuring out, and I think as the weeks have progressed, we've done a nice job of finding ourselves through winning, and that's what we talked about with the guys after the Hudson. We put that behind us, and we put a string of couple of good games together, and I think we're really hitting our stride in terms of finding out who we are and what our identity is on both sides.
You're really learning, obviously, as are the guys, about being a veteran coach in the area.
Yeah.
I remember when you were the brand new guy,
Yeah.
for one of the first interviews in our makeshift studio in East Palestine. But now you're really one of the coaches that everybody looks to for kind of veteran advice. Do your players feel like that? Do you feel like that?
I would tell you, I don't think these guys feel like that, but it's really weird. We've never been in a conference, but when I looked at the staples on our schedule, it was I've watched every program change coaches, and to think a lot of those guys were tenured big names. I'm thinking Mooney, Carl Pelini, Warren, Steve Arnold, Ignazio at Boardman. Those guys weren't there just a couple years. They're staples of their program. So knowing that we got to face those guys and then, have, I don't want to say outlasted because they've done it a lot longer than me, but still in the position I am, I don't feel like, hey, I'm the old soul. I do feel somewhat young, but no, it's fun. At times you could see why guys get out. It's how business now. But I honestly do enjoy our kids. I enjoy, the building process every year of getting these guys going. And we talk about it all the time with our guys. Our guys are not easy. And just to have the opportunity to try to push them down the right path to find, success not only in football but in their lives is exciting. So I couldn't imagine myself not doing it, but there's times when I say, man, this is a lot.
Every coach talks about culture change and the culture in the locker room, the culture in a school, culture in a district. You came in and you changed the culture right away. and it's evolved ever since even then. Talk to me about how you've continued to, is it consistency in what you're saying, what you're doing? What is it that's made you able to change that culture successfully and get wins in the win call?
Yeah, I think, when you're talking about changing a culture, I think just new energy. I'm sure when I pass, whoever the next guy that follows me, they're going to bring a new energy and a shift there. What I appreciate was administration, fans, kids, players, all jumping behind that, and then to see the kids in the school jumping behind the new energy of Austin Town. And then that first year, that team had something to do with it. They went from a 500 team to, I know it was a shortened season in COVID, but an undefeated team. So I think everybody got behind that energy, and it's progressively progressed, but this is not a college. We're not recruiting like this guy fits our mold. So every year in every class, there's a baseline standard, and these guys understand that, what it takes. They lead in different direction, in different ways, I should say. But when you can have a player-led program that wants to do the right things consistently, you feel like you're in a good place. And this year, I feel like I'm in a good place with those guys.
Greg has a question for you.
How would you kind of define that standard for you guys? Is there one thing that you guys kind of lean on each and every year, or does it kind of evolve on a year-by-year basis?
You'll laugh at this, but I think it's the commitment overall.
Mm-hmm.
I think when you look at us and the demand of the teams that we're playing and at the level we're playing at, we talk about playing in one of the best regions in all of the country.
Yeah.
It is a 365-day commitment with these
Mm-hmm.
guys. The off season is right after our last game, and we attack the weight room like we are in season. Mm-hmm. And then after that ends, we go into spring, and our version of spring ball begins. And they're on the field, they're at study tables. And then after that, they get a week off in the summer, and then we're traveling the country for 7-on-7s. We're consistently playing. We're consistently going against each other. A lot of good versus good in the summer. And then that leads right into a season. It is not easy to be a Fitch football player. There's a standard of commitment there that at times for a lot of people, it's a change, because some of the standards we have in our program, I don't even think they have at home. So that consistency and always being on them, they know what they have to do. And fortunately enough, we've had guys who've been a product of the system who've done well and had success, and guys who in 8th grade maybe didn't start or, were backups or weren't contributing. And by putting the work in and doing the right things, they find themselves playing or being a contributor or starting as a senior. And I think the other part of that is our kids really love football, and you need to be in a place where, your excitement and your goals match the people around you. Our administration loves football. Our community loves football. Our kids love football. And there's a want to play after they leave here. It's not just here. They want to go on to the next level. So those are things we talk about. That if you play here, we just talked about today about their grades, and if you play here, you have 7-on-7, summer camps, all of that.
Sam?
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, football's a game of momentum, and you talk about it, the 365 commitment that it is. But when you get started into the season, it's like all forward. I wanted to ask you about this bye week this week, and potentially if everything goes well, you may have a bye week in week 11. How does that feel as a coach? Do you approach that different? How do you keep these guys, head on the game?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I think the one thing when you're going 365 days, there's that, how do you create ways to avoid complacency where you're coming back to practice, it's Groundhog's Day. Hey, I know we're going to do this on Monday, and boom, boom, boom. We talked about it, like, since you bring up the bye week, we thought in the summer, leading up to Hudson, we got complacent in just how we were going about things. There wasn't a drive there to continue to grow. We were just, how can we get to the first game? Like, we want to play the first game. There wasn't this, practice is going to be hard, and they're operating at this level, but everyone knows, that game level is another step up. So I think everybody wanted to get to the game, and we really didn't continue to focus on growing. During the bye week, that's always our main focus. Like we told the kids at the beginning, we're going to get 2 things out of this. We're going to get rest, and we're going to get growth. And the only way we know how to do that, we don't play a game. So we started the week off early in the weeks, getting back to the basics. A lot of fundamentals, a lot of station work, individual, small group work, then mixing in a little team there. And then toward the end of the week today was all good versus good. We even went scouts, and instead of having our scout team out there, it was our starting offense and majority positions going against our starting defense, and we were running plays that our next opponent would be running. Now, that was a small portion of it because the goal was to focus on us. But, the other side of it was rest. Fortunately enough, we partnered with a recovery place in PA where the kids are going up there for cryotherapy, compression, and then red light sauna. And then after that, we gave the kids off the weekend. They were off. We usually come in JV games on Saturdays. We gave the whole team off Saturdays, including the coaches. We came back in on Sunday, met, went over the previous week, and then they have off Friday and Saturday. Now, as a coach, this weekend's homecoming, so my mind is not off in terms of them doing the right things. It turned out to be good timing, but 2 days off for them to rejuvenate. We knew today was going to be more physical than any other day we had. But they get 2 days off, and then we come back Sunday and meet, and it's back for full game week. And honestly, I think with anything like this, and going back to experience, and you talk about how it feels to be an older coach, like in my 6 years, we've had COVID, I've had cancellations the following year for COVID, I've had switching playoffs. The target has never moved more.
All over the place.
So I think the experience comes with, like, how can we find the positive in every situation? So it was like, I'm not going to sit here and soak. And we tried to find an opponent all over the country. We were in Michigan, Indiana, PA, just couldn't find one. So it was like, all right, let's put our best foot forward. How can we map this out to where it's effective for our team? And I think my staff did a good job of that.
You talk about, rejuvenation. You talk about high energy. Boy, oh boy, we're sitting in what could be the Mecca. We've seen kind of, field houses pop up all over the place. This is different. It's obviously working in construction here, or working, what's the word I'm looking for?
Work in progress.
Work in progress. It is under construction. Mesh the two, build them together. But TJ, how blessed do you feel to have something like this? And oh, by the way, you told us this is only part 1.
Yeah. Again, coaching is hard. It's a lot of time. And when I'm talking about the kids' commitment, for myself and our staff, they're just as committed. They're there 365 days with these guys too. So when you have that mindset and you're putting all that energy into something, you want to work with people who give it back to you. And our community gives it back to us. Our administrator gives it back to us. They're committed to their athletes. And they're committed to the experience of what it means to be a student athlete.
So what is this place? Explain it to us. What are you hoping to have out of here?
Hoping for a lot of things, but this will be a 60-yard full field. They're having batting cages. We'll have a kicking net there.
He knows me.
But it'll be sectioned off for both baseball, softball.
Okay.
And then it's going to be, I was upset because I wanted like an end zone painted, but it's going to be crazy lines everywhere in terms of all of our kids, all of Austintown can get in here and train, and then have a more productive off season, because the truth is Northeastern Ohio weather is
unpredictable.
Awful. I have no control over this, but I stop in and check the progress, and I see guys here, and I said, hey, we're getting to that time of the season. We could just get this turf laid. Like, we don't need